boxing has changed. Now the smaller guy looks bigger than the bigger guy. Terence Bud Crawford has his face-off with Canelo Alvarez, and the smaller guy doesn't look so small. In fact, they did the initial face-off right after Canelo miserably performed versus William Skull. And directly after that fight, Terence Crawford was called into the ring, and they pretty much did a face-off and a stare down. In that face-off, you could see that Terence Crawford he looked almost physically bigger, but definitely height-wise, he is taller than Canelo Alvarez, right? And the next day, I guess they continued to do press-related stuff and photo ops. You see Canelo put high heels on. He put these big block platform shoes, almost like he was insecure that the smaller man was bigger than him because of the initial pictures from the previous day. Because there was no other reason to do that. We had already seen from the previous day that Crawford appeared bigger and he definitely was taller than you. So to come back and then now conveniently you got these platform shoes that make it look like you're Terence Crawford's height, I thought that was funny. Terence Crawford, I don't remember what shoes he had on because I'm not looking at the picture as I'm recording this video, but they were like Chucks or something. So Terence Crawford had pretty flat shoes and he didn't have to do nothing extra. So for me, I'm wondering what that's about. Why Canelo elected to do that, because that was just a weird move when you could just be the shorter man. Because before the William Skull fight, they said, oh, William Skull, he looks big, he's taller. And then Canelo said, I don't give a he said he didn't care. Straight Bishop. I don't give a when you said that last time, I was kind of tripping, right? But now you right. I am crazy. But you know what else, right? He went full Bishop mode and said, I don't give a F about his height. You know, I've faced tall opponents before. So when you're facing off with Crawford, why does it seem like you give a F by putting on them high heels, them platform shoes? Very weird move. Now, I've already told you guys on my channel, Terence Crawford very well can beat this version of Canelo Alvarez. In the past, I put my commentary up and I stated that I don't like the weight class jumping. Crawford is a more overall well-rounded fighter, but based on the weight class and the weight jumping, rapid weight jump, no tune-ups, I didn't like that. It was all about weight, right? And durability at the new weight. So everything was weight centric. And in those videos, those pieces of content, I said that Canelo should win, and I didn't really see Bud faring. Like I said that Bud could do well for like Amir Khan basically, do well for the first 4 or 5 rounds, but then that weight would probably be a problem later on in the fight. But after seeing Canelo versus Skull, I have been forced to reconsider. Now, it's funny because in the video, my updated video talking about how Crawford definitely has a chance now after seeing Canelo, somebody in the comments said, nah, keep that same energy. First of all, I'm a grown man. You're not going to tell me what to do. I could change my opinion if I want, and you ain't going to do nothing about it. So to whoever that was. The second thing is it shows you how boxing fans can be emotional babies. Just think about that term, keep the same energy, right? What does that mean? It's not even really a good term because things in life change and evolve. Change is inevitable, right? You could try to resist change, but it is futile. So with that being said, if things change and evolve and over time, you know, mature or, you know, evolve past a certain space, then why would my opinion always stay the same no matter what, right? Like, let's say there's an actor from the 90s that you really liked, and that actor was in the blockbuster movies. But then later on in their career, all of their movies are low budget B movies that are direct to DVD, direct to stream type, like Steven Seagal. I'm building a bomb. Anybody seen Richie? Want to know why he did Bobby Lupo? I'm looking for Richie. Right? Steven Seagal, perfect example. In the 80s and 90s, he had Above the Law, Hard to Kill, Under Siege, Executive Decision. He had movies that went to the theater. Now, if you watch Steven Seagal, right, his movies, there was a movie where he was fighting a bad guy and he was in a chair sitting down, and and he was using a computer chair, like a desk chair with the roll wheels, to fight the guy. Like, you're too lazy to stand up and chunk him, it was just ridiculous, right? But anyway, these are the types of movies that Seagal is doing now. So why would I keep the same energy? I don't have a problem if somebody was a fan of Steven Seagal, his earlier work, because they were better movies. But when people say that keep the same energy, it sounds stupid to me, because why would I or anyone else keep the same energy when something clearly has changed? And when it comes to Canelo and Crawford, I definitely seen it change. Like, before, I'm like, Canelo is still the bigger man, and the way he looked versus Munguia and Berlanga, I'm like, that's still, with the weight advantage, is probably going to be too much for a guy like Crawford. However, seeing Canelo, it looked like he got worse. I knew he was fading. I knew he wasn't the same. He hasn't looked proper since probably 160 to me, so like John Ryder fights and stuff like that. So I understood that, but I still thought Canelo probably had enough to, as the bigger man, probably get it done. And we'll see in September. But the way he looked versus Skull, I can't have no faith in no Canelo, because, to be honest, Skull did a lot of things that Canelo Alvarez didn't like, and I can see Bud utilizing portions of that strategy, mixing that in with what he does well. You get me? So a little bit more, or a lot of bit more, on the offense, in the picking shots and the agility. That's how bad Canelo looked to me versus Skull. So don't tell me, oh, keep that same energy. I'm not keeping the way Canelo looked. Yeah, let's go, Bud. And I already said this before. Bud is an American, and Canelo's making poor decisions. So I think it'd be cool for Bud to win for America. And it's not like Canelo's making the right choices. He's not fighting the person I want to see him fight, so I really could care less. You know what I mean? He's not fighting David Benavidez. That's the fight I want. So good riddance. We'll see what Bud can do. Now, I'm not saying Bud is out the woods and it's a one-sided fight or anything like that. Bud still got to be careful. But I'm just telling y'all, Canelo wearing platform shoes, he's just showing wear and tear. And him being a part-time boxer, full-time golfer, the warning signs are not looking good, because we know Bud really is disciplined. He's not poisoning his body. He's really a dedicated athlete. And he's faster than Canelo Alvarez, especially when it comes to the footwork. But I would also say his processing and ring IQ. Canelo looks faded, bruh. He looked faded. So I can't have, if he would have looked, I told you I was going to look at the Canelo Skull fight, and depending on how Canelo looked, that was going to give me a better indication, because you're only as good as your recent performance in the world of boxing. And I don't want to have a recency bias, but the version of Canelo that pulled up was lazy, lethargic. It looked like he was in shape. So he really had no excuse. This guy is not a noted puncher. This guy had inexperience, and you really should have looked better. How do you not know how to cut off the ring when you've been complaining about the Mayweather and Lotta styles since 2013 when you fought him? It doesn't even make sense. Let's go, Bud.